Sometimes the most peaceful place in the world for me is an art gallery. I know that probably sounds strange to some people, but there's just something about walking through a room full of creativity that settles my spirit. Maybe it's the stories behind the artwork. Maybe it's the emotions hidden in the colors and brushstrokes. Whatever it is, it always seems to slow my mind down. There's one particular piece that I absolutely love. I've looked at it more times than I can count, yet somehow every single time feels like the first. The colors are bold, vibrant, and alive. No matter how many times I stand in front of it, I always discover something new. It's almost impossible for me to explain, but whenever I look at it, this feeling of calmness washes over me. Like for a few moments, everything else fades away. One evening after work, I found myself standing in front of that same piece again. The gallery was busy. People were walking around, talking quietly, admiring different exhibits. That wasn't unusual. Art gatherings are always filled with people coming and going. But as I stood there, completely absorbed in the painting, I became aware of a presence behind me. At first, I ignored it. Then I felt it again. And it wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't intrusive. It was simply there. Before I even turned around, I somehow knew someone was standing close by. And when I finally looked, I was surprised to see it was him, my crush, the bartender. What was strange was that he hadn't said a word. He hadn't introduced himself. He wasn't trying to get my attention. He was simply standing there. But somehow his presence felt different. I know this is going to sound like something straight out of a fairy tale, but in that moment, it felt right. Not exciting, not dramatic, just right. As if him standing there beside me while I was looking at one of my favorite pieces of art was exactly where he was supposed to be. I can't fully explain it. It felt like two separate worlds were slowly finding their way toward each other. Not colliding, not crashing together, just moving into alignment like two pieces of a puzzle, finally finding the place where they belonged. Maybe it was the atmosphere, maybe it was the art, maybe it was the lighting, or maybe it was simply the feeling of sharing a meaningful moment with someone whose presence already meant something to me. I don't know. What I do know is that before he even spoke, before he even acknowledged me, something felt different. And standing there in front of that painting for the first time, it felt like I wasn't the only one being moved by a piece of art. It felt like the moment itself had become a work of art.